name is Eyitayo Oladejo, and I welcome you to another exciting episode of Fading Thoughts. With me today are
Bushra.
Chuku.
Omie.
So, myself and these three beautiful guests are going to be talking about child abuse today. And I would like to first of all start with the controversy that's been going on about the 10-year-old kids that had sex and posted it on the internet. A lot of people have different opinions about this, and one of the opinions is that it's due to lack of good parenting. I would like to know your opinions, guys. Wumie, I want to start with you. What do you think is the cause of this kind of horrible happening?
Well, I'll start by saying, everyone is entitled to their opinion as to why this is happening. But
Yes.
I think one thing that we're not putting into perspective is the day and age that we live in.
Okay.
This time that we live in, the society that we live in, is riddled with globalization.
Yes.
What you put out there into the internet. So I'm not going to say it's not wholly on bad parenting,
Okay.
but I feel like we all have a role to play. And I feel like we should all take responsibility for what is happening with our children. Honestly, I feel like we are very used to blaming our parents' generation for a lot of issues, and we've failed to look at ourselves and to hold ourselves accountable for what we do, what we put out there, because the next generation is looking at us.
Okay.
Look at OnlyFans, for example. OnlyFans is literally like, it's legal to be a hoe. Like you can be a prostitute and it's fine, or you can sell yourself out there and it's fine. And then we find 5-year-old, 6-year-old kids looking at this and saying, "Oh, this is the way to live. I want to do this." So our generation, I think in a way we're failing, and the fact that we're all pointing fingers and say, "Oh, it's the bad parents. Oh, it's this." No, hell no. Look at yourselves. Look at us. Look at what is on your social media. What do you talk about? Like, you're posting things. What is the content? Because children are looking. I have a lot to say on the matter, but I know we don't have time, so.
Thank you very much for that view. I actually like the points that you're making, that we have to look at ourselves. However, you also have to admit that we are the parents right now. Do you understand?
Exactly.
Because those kids have mothers
Our age. Yeah.
and yes, I understand. Bushra, let me know, what's your opinion?
For me, I wouldn't know. I think I have a lot of thoughts around it as regards parents, government, the community as a whole. Because I feel we talk about building good society, but whatever it is we do starts from the family unit. And I think at this point, like for me, I said, we of course our parents. Some parents might have failed in terms of parenting,
Yes.
but the onus is on us now to do things differently. So I have the perspective of, if something goes wrong now at this age, at this level and time, with the level of information we have out there, then I'm sorry, you have yourself to blame. And I think parents should start being very deliberate. I'm sorry, some people just want to marry and have kids and just carry the carry the label of I have children. They're not really ready. I think parents should go for child development training, please, now. And you have to be intentional. Yes. Personally, I'm so interested in children because I feel whatever you do form the life of that child. You see, that's beginning, that foundation, it molds the kind of person you are. I'm sorry, that kind of girl now, I don't know. Of course, you can still remedy a situation, but there's a lot to do. So I saw someone post something about how the girl's mom is also a social media person and how she's a slave queen. Yeah, I saw it. I think it was Kemi lawyer or something. Yeah, I don't know. I just saw it somewhere.
If it's that one,
So
you
for me,
probably,
I don't know
you probably shouldn't even
I wouldn't
take that
know.
too serious.
Actually, I saw the
Yes,
picture.
you're right.
The picture she was actually depicting shows that the mom might actually be that kind of person.
Okay.
So probably she might probably not pay so much attention
yeah.
to
To
the
the-
child and all again. So, but my own is, even as a society, how do we do this thing? How can a 10-year-old post stuff and you come in as an adult, you go under the comments, you're seeing question of how she can write. Oh
I
God, it's
heard
so
that
disgusting.
the number of her
how
fans
she's a cowgirl,
increased
how
after
she's
the
this,
event.
like how did we get to this point? How come with morals have been eroded to the point where now some people are even acting a child?
Yeah.
I could remember years ago, you see kids doing this mommy and daddy play. Oh you can't you dare not, you get. You dare not even come out to say it, or your parents might not. You don't even want your parents to know. But now you see something and everybody is like a norm now. And we forget that this thing will haunt this girl.
Yep.
I fear for this girl.
Yep.
Because she doesn't know what she's doing now.
She doesn't.
It's a normal thing to her. She's a child. She's innocent. Some people are saying she's 13, whether she's preteen, whether she's 10. My own,
Anything
she
teen,
is
she's a
child.
minor.
She's innocent. That thing will scar her. I've had to do counseling, and you see some of these cases come up, and some of them try to flash back as to how they got to where they are today, and they're wishing they can actually, just turn back the hands of time and see how they can do things differently. And to them, a lot of them come out there and they're not even, they don't feel they're part of society anymore, because society has even failed you. So we are the society, and if you don't go back to fixing our own self and see how we can make things better, then I'm sorry, you are, like Bumi said, we're ready for the long haul. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're talking about a 10-year-old. This is a 10-year-old. Fine, she might have been influenced by what she's been seeing. I understand there's a very huge possibility of that. But then, when I was younger, I saw a lot of things as a child. My uncles did a whole lot. They made me watch a lot, fine, unknowingly to them. However, it did not influence me in any way. I did not grow up to say I wanted to experiment on what I saw. Do you understand my point? So, is this not a point of good or bad parenting? I know for a fact that my parents were quite strict, and they had firm hands with my sister and I. So we turned out good. We did. Do you think, Truth, tell me, do you think it would have made a difference if this girl had better parenting?
Thank you very much. I think we need to put this into context. I think this is a multifaceted problem. And Womiye rightly said, it's not just about the parents, it's all of us. You made mention about you growing up and seeing some things, but if we put into context your growing up experience and hers, I don't think you had a mobile phone while growing up, did you? And combined with a lot of our practices these days, we have practices of female liberation, which now tends to make a lot of females post nudes, and they tell you, it's my body, I can do. Yes, it's your body, and body autonomy, and it encourages some people to do a lot of things and post a lot of things out there, and like she said, OnlyFans. That's part of the things. Like, it's okay to be a hoe. It's okay to be, and then as long as it's your body and you're doing it, and you post it online, and kids like this now not only have access to these things, they now see a lot of people online who also support these things and also make them feel like this is the right thing to do or the right way to go. So apart from, yes, parenting is a part of it, but we also need to consider the fact that the world where we live in today is so much different. If you say that you want to take away the child's phone at 10, you didn't want to give her a phone probably till she finished from secondary school. She has friends who have phones. They will bring phones to school and they will show her, see what is happening. They will keep her updated. So yes, parenting is a part of it, but I feel like the major issue is our society, the society of today. For me, I think that's basically it.
Man, I just want to add that we have a lot of sick people out there.
Oh yeah, we do.
Honestly, because even going back to the genesis of this little girl, obviously someone in her family defiled her when she was younger. Someone exposed her. Someone exposed her to. Someone made her body sensitive to her sexuality. Somebody did that, and apart from that, now unfortunately this has happened, but it's now more so. She has a page like OnlyFans. Do you guys know that?
Oh yeah,
wow.
I saw it online.
She has
TikTok.
a platform.
I think.
Yes.
Is it TikTok or
yes,
something like that?
A very reliable source that is
Girl
here
has
with us told me
has a platform,
and she has over 4,000 followers.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, that was what I said earlier, that her followers actually have increased from 4,000 to 12,000.
And who are these followers? Isn't
it
it us?
She's been doing it for a while now.
Us.
They hear about
Yes.
it.
So they said, come to Dubai, you better show us your skills. Let's see what you're made of. And of course the girl, she's like, and again, just like what Bushra said. Just like what Bushra said. She thinks it's normal. Because I was having a conversation with someone, and I remember, as a kid, when my cousin was molesting me, I thought it was normal. He would come every night and penetrate, have sex with me. I thought it was normal. I would legit wait and lay down like, when is he coming? Because I thought it was normal. Look at the story of the girl that her dad was abusing her. When she went on a sleepover, she was like, hey, Amanda, when is your dad gonna come?
Whoa.
Because they think it's normal. You've come into this life and people are showing you the way to live. You think it's normal and you continue in that way. So yes, I think the parents definitely had a role to play. Because I think for my parents, they still tell me to today, they wish they communicated with me better. And that's the same thing with this girl. I wish her parents, observed her better.
Yes.
I wish they paid attention because you cannot, I haven't seen the video and I would never want to see that video because again, to all our Nigerian viewers and all the people that were saying, DM me the video. Where's the camera? DM me the video. Let me see the video. Send me the video.
Totally
I just want you to know, that if you lived in the United States, you would have been put on the watch list as a sex offender because that is sex offender behavior. Why do you want to watch a child, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, have sexual interaction? What is wrong with you? Are you sick? Anyway,
Yes.
I'm
Hello.
A lot of people are really
Okay, yeah.
sick.
So to even add to that, yeah, I feel the first time this girl probably made a post, someone saw it,
Yes.
and nobody
certainly.
raised an alarm.
Yeah.
To the
Certainly.
point that our followers grew up to 4,000. I
4,000.
can't believe my ears.
And who knows what the number is now?
That was even
No.
then. What
It's
I mean
okay.
is, she's
That-
been
that's
a
what I'm
pattern. She's
saying.
been doing it, and nobody saw that it was even wrong.
They
So
were
if the school
encouraging
thing
her.
had not
So
happened,
guys.
then
wait.
sorry, Ita, just to add there again. Then another thing with what Womia said. So there's two things with abuse. Because I heard some people saying how she's expert, she's this, she's that. There are two things.
Is that the problem?
And I think I thank God I have a bit of counseling and mental health knowledge of this.
Okay.
There are two-way things. So when you're abused, either it excites you or it scares you. When it scares you, you see those are the ones you see that would probably end up 18 men or don't touch me, they're running away. If you now fall on the other side, like she said, like where this girl falls, that's where the problem is. You can just be on rampage for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
There's a movie like that, Alter Ego. Yes, by Amotola. She had
Yes,
the same kind of
yes,
case.
That's true.
Mhm,
I watched the
remember
movie.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Remember that movie we saw?
Yeah.
Exactly. So it just once you touch her, to her now in her head is a normal thing.
Yeah.
So she goes to school, she's wanting the boys to touch her, she's
Yeah.
taking them to her body will react, her hormones, that's the first, that's what I thought about development. What you do is what molds that child.
Something's
This is the first thing you've introduced her to. This is the thing her body understands. Her body will request for it, she'll get excited and she would move for it. So what are we saying? So I feel like we've done so much. There's a level of the pain, like you said, but we ourselves, we're also making this issue worse because I want to know who are the people that have been
Yes.
watching
We're making
this
it
girl
worse.
till she grew up to 4,000 and just the first post is enough for you
Are
to escalate
are
it.
we then saying that it's the internet that is basically raising our children for us?
Internet is an
Is that
enabler
what
of this
you should
anomaly.
say?
That's what we're saying.
Because I would like to tell you about. I just watched another story this morning about a girl, a 16-year-old girl who was given a lift by like a 56-year-old man or something to church, and then the man collected her number, gave her his card, and by the time she got home, the man asked her to call. See, the only difference between this story and the other story is that this child got home and actually told her mother.
Her mom, yeah.
She told her mom everything that
Yeah.
happened, and her mom made sure
Yep.
that she called the man,
I recorded
who
it.
recorded it, and then actually insulted the
Yeah.
man, called him out for it, and posted it online.
He just kept apologizing.
Exactly. He kept saying he had no
I'm
idea.
sorry.
He had no idea.
Wow.
Idea of what?
He had no idea that she was a minor.
Can you
Yet he was asking this girl whether she was going to go to school the next day,
Yeah, she'd be
So
home.
telling
Pick her
her
up.
to
I saw
telling
that.
her to lie to her parents that she was
Oh,
going
wow.
to
People
school,
grooming
Yup.
her.
saying he was going to pick her
Pedophile.
up somewhere by 10 o'clock if she could be with him till 4 o'clock. See, my point is this: it could have gone either ways for this girl.
Yeah.
She could have fallen into this, because from what I heard, this man promised her an iPhone. This man promised her good things of life. Do you understand? But then when she got home, she still went to her mom and told her mom every little detail. Don't you think that if this other 10-year-old girl with the video from Dubai, if she had good parenting, don't you think she would have told her mom exactly when this thing began? Don't you think she would have been able to go to her mom as a friend to talk to her mom and tell her what happened to her?
So I think that's a very dicey question.
Exactly.
And the reason for me is because we're not saying that bad parenting has nothing to do with it. No, your parenting style definitely has an influence. However, I'll use myself case in point. when my cousin was doing that, my cousin would literally like hold me down and pin me down like so. I'm so sorry. My cousin. I'm sorry. I hope I'm not triggering anything. My cousin would hold me down like this and tell me to keep quiet and threaten me.
Oh wow.
Do not tell anyone, or I'll kill you and I'll kill your parents.
Wow.
In that situation, how many children are going through the same thing? How do we know what happened to this girl?
True.
The person that first defiled her. What do we know? We don't know the background story.
True.
That kind of situation for me, I was scared. I didn't say anything till I was 28.
Wow.
I was that scared. I was so scared that when I told my big sister for the first time, and she reached out to him, somehow he communicated to me. When I saw his email, that was my first anxiety attack in my life. That was my first panic attack in my life. I was so scared because I relived all those memories. So we don't know the background. We don't know why. So while yes, it's good to raise your children in an enabling, safe environment, we get that. At the same time, just it's
No,
see,
for me, I think
I am extremely sorry that this happened to you. I'm so sorry that you even had to experience this at all. I'm really, really sorry. And I do understand you. Yes, it's possible that this girl has been living in fear. But then, at what point did it then turn to something of this nature that she has to be the one disflowering boys?
Okay, so for this one, let me take a jab at this one. I might not be able to say so much about the points where she moved from being scared and her being the one to deflower boys in your words. But there's something that Bushra said. You know, she says that once you have been, you've been what word is it? You can either be scarred, you've been abused. You can either be scarred, or you can enjoy it.
Yeah.
So apparently, I think we all know where this girl fell under.
Yes.
It's so sad. But what I wanted to even talk about majorly is something that I feel very strongly about is our society. Bringing us to Nigeria today, we are all shouting bad parenting, bad parenting. But sometimes it might not. It is the fault of the parents, but not in totality. If we can take a look, not entirely. Let's take for example Nigeria. If you live in Lagos, for example, your parents probably, there's a very high chance that your parents leave for work before you wake up from sleep and come back after you've gone to bed.
Yeah, true.
Except on weekends.
That's the reality.
And that's the standard.
Yes,
Why?
it's
Because
true.
they need to make ends meet. So sometimes it's not because the parents do not care about the children or do not want to talk to the children or do not want to create a relationship. But in as much as they want to do that, they also want to fend for the children, they want to provide for the children, they want to be able to pay school fees. You know, I remember growing up in Lagos, and my dad back then, we lived on the mainland and my dad was working on the island. I can remember how he wakes up very early, and before we awake and get ready for school, he's already gone. And you know, he comes back late at night. Some days you're awake to see him, some days you're already at sleep. And on the weekends where he's around, the few weekends where he's free, you know, he's so tired and he just wants to rest. So just very few times that he has time to speak. So there are some times when it's not totally about bad parenting, but when we look at our society, we look at the Nigeria of today, we look at the economy of the world today, so many parents are struggling to make ends meet and may not now be able to provide that connection with their children that the children will need. And more times than not, they leave it to the school to handle. So you hear parents saying stuff like, you people are going on holidays. Oh no, so that means I have to, you know, it's not like they don't care about the children, you know, but you know, there's just so much already they're trying to handle. So we need to also put that in context. Like I said, it's a multi-faceted problem. So if we're trying to look for a lasting solution, like I've learned from our development space professional over here, we need to put into context the different aspects. We need to bring it together so that we can get a lasting solution to this problem.
Me, I have two questions.
Okay, so before you get your question,
Okay.
So for me, I think going with what Chuku said, I think we've got to a point where we need to find a way to mitigate this perversion. Why should I even have a child and I'm scared of giving my child an environment? Can we begin to make ourselves responsible rather, to the point that at least I can keep my child with Chuku and beat my chest that my child is safe with Chuku. No, I'm just saying. How about we build that kind of
I don't want to.
So instead of looking for a solution, you get, We're looking for preventive measures now instead of looking for a solution to the problem.
People are sick, man.
Can we prevent it? Can we get to the point in society where people are responsible enough to know
If
that
you're
I
talking
should
about
not?
solving it,
I
then
should
you
not-
tell us, how do you think we can
That's what I'm telling you. Be responsible enough to know that if a 3-year-old boy is with me, I should know that I'm not meant to be responsible for. At least you're an adult. Can you be responsible enough to know that I shouldn't molest a child?
Not
Not
everybody
everybody.
thinks
So
that.
that's the problem. So because we're not thinking this way is where we see. If people don't begin to change that mindset, then
No,
I'm sorry. That means we'll
No,
be
but
on
it's
this path.
a thing of psychology. Not everyone has that mindset. That's a
Yes.
fact of
So can we
psychology.
begin to call their attention now to these things now to understand that we all have a role to play in building this society?
Definitely.
So maybe a boy now that grew up with this kind of attitude and knows that. Okay, there was a story I heard about a boy. He said because the maid was molesting him, he was touching him. So he grew up to feel that it was also normal to be touching girls, and that was how he became a rapist. He was raping women and all that. So if that kind of boy now, we can actually focus on that boy and actually give him some sort of find a solution to his issue and make him understand that this is not. We might have gone through this thing, but it doesn't mean it's normal. Because if we keep saying everybody is not normal, my dear, we'll keep breeding more abnormal people and more abnormality.
I don't think that's what we're saying. I don't think we're saying that everybody is not normal. And I like where you're trying to approach this problem from, because it's a very big issue.
Yes.
But
it's
one of the
important.
reasons why I sort of align more with what Wumi said is because we can't control people,
Exactly.
how they act.
Thank
And
you.
if you've studied a bit of psychology, pedophilia in itself is a mental illness. So sometimes it might not stem from being molested or abused. So it might be a mental illness that someone develops along the line. And I was reading the news the other day, and I think there's a state in America that are fighting for the right to love who you want to love.
No, that's in Canada. A province in Canada.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
been passed already.
Wow.
That you are allowed to love whoever you want to, even if
Even
it's a
as a
minor.
child.
For them, is the province. There's no minor.
That's
So
ridiculous.
As
even
long
if
as
it's
we're
a
both
child.
human beings
And consent.
and there's consent
That's
from a
ridiculous.
child.
You can
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah. There's
So-
a whole
You
association.
can't make that kind of
Yeah.
There's an
rational,
association.
sensible
So you can
decision.
see that even if you want to attack it from your point of view,
Yeah.
when something like this becomes institutionalized,
Yep.
then that solution becomes void.
Yep.
Okay, well,
no
in that
longer work.
context, I mean,
In that
thank God, here in our own context now, it doesn't apply. So what can we do here now?
The
That,
institutionalization of the
that thank God is
perversion
not even. So probably I understand that we have to
that
adopt
we know
it
of.
based on different places.
Exactly.
There are people, huh?
You get, but here, so what I'm saying, okay, like a pedophilia now, it means that I know that there's a problem here. We don't pay attention to all this is what I'm talking about. Someone is pedophilia, you just look at it, especially mental health and all these psychological issues. We don't pay attention to what I'm trying to drag our
Mm,
attention.
okay, sure.
We don't
You
pay
get,
enough
so probably we
attention.
start paying attention to all these minor
Yeah.
things. We're looking for solutions for it.
Minor,
Then
that's major.
you get then before you know it, we're preventing. Because if you keep saying this, I'm sorry. I know that if I'm going to that kind of environment, Chuka, I already know. I'm not even going to take my child.
It's
I'm not even
here.
going to
It's
So what's your
here.
question?
The
Do
problem
you
is
have a
if
question?
It's even
we
here.
leave it there,
These are
Yeah.
it
universal
will come to
problems.
us.
It's not
Over
even,
time.
they're
It's
not
going
even
to
that
come
it
to
will
us.
start attacking from
It's
our
not
own,
even
like
that
I
it'll
said,
come
let's
to
start
us. It's
looking for
already here.
solution
It's
on
here
our own.
already. There are people underground that are doing these things.
Yes.
There are people that are running underground dungeons and sex, what's it called, circles or cycles.
Yeah, I heard
in
in Lagos. Yep,
Yes.
I heard
happening
about
already.
it.
Children.
Yes.
All these kids that are missing. What do you think they are, bro? My question is.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it. You said there were two.
I have two questions.
Okay.
First of all,
Yeah.
why are we only talking about the girl?
Yeah.
There were guys in that video.
You're right.
Why are we only talking about the girl?
That's why
why
we
is
keep
our
talking about
society?
children
I don't understand
generally.
this. No. We're focusing on the girl.
Yes.
Even in
We're
the
focusing
videos,
on
it
the
was the
girl.
girl. There were boys as well. Because for me, that does two things. First of all, the whole patriarchal, the whole
Yeah.
thing that we have against female and women.
Yeah.
And another thing, it takes attention off male education, like gender-based violence on boys, because the boys themselves, who knows what has happened in their homes, that they're coming and they're so open to having sex with children. They're all minors. Now we're talking about the girl's parents. Nah, the boys are also there. Someone also
true.
abused them from their homes. It wasn't the girl that came and said, okay, let me have sex with you and this virgin, all of you. No, the boys also came with that mindset. I haven't seen the video, but the boys were there. And I think, when we're doing GBV talks, and I know Bushras are huge advocates of this, you talk to girls, but also talk to boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's I don't get that. And then number 2, how do we expect another child now that is going through this to talk? Because honestly, on Sunday, I lost hope in Nigeria for a hot minute.
You're right.
When I saw the comment section and I saw how people were insulting this baby girl, like just making her into a sex object as a minor. If I'm a 10-year-old now and this is happening to me, how do you guys expect me to come and say this is what's happening to me? Because I'm going to be so afraid to speak out and say this is what's happening to me, because I'll also think, okay, maybe I'm a prostitute or all those. Did you guys see the comment section?
Nope.
Yeah, I did. I told you.
Oh my
Nope.
god!
I mentioned it.
They called her all types of names. They sexualized her. We are our own problem in this country.
Yes, you're very correct, guys. Obviously, this is not a topic that we can talk about in just one day and
It's not.
end in one day.
Yeah.
This
No,
is a
not.
topic that has to go on. We have to continue talking about this. We have to. I'm sure that we're going to come back to have other episodes on this same topic, and I hope you guys will oblige me when the time comes.
Definitely.
All right, there you have it. We have just concluded the episode on child abuse. Thank you so much for staying with us. My name is Eyitayo Oladejo once again. Thank you.